Welcome to ASD Shine Bright, the podcast. My name is Corey Young. We are here at Romig Middle School. This is where we're covering all the awesome things happening. This is home of the Trojans, and I'm here with Emily Brubaker, 8th grader and national champion of the National Civics Bee. How are you doing, Emily?
I'm great. How are you?
Doing awesome. It's super cool. How does it feel, first of all, to be called a national champ? You're a champion.
Well, it kind of feels fake. Like, I don't even remember winning at this point. It's like, I feel like it was kind of a dream, and then I just woken up to reality, and it just happens to have happened in the past. It just doesn't feel like something that I actually did.
I could see that. It is huge because you're like, this is the first time the National Civics Bee has actually happened.
Yeah. You
get selected, you win. Did you win state or?
Yeah, so how it worked was I submitted an essay, and a panel of judges from the Alaska Chamber of Commerce, I believe, selected 10 essays to have their writers compete in the state level of the competition. And the top 10 of the state competed in the state civics bee, and I did win that one, which allowed me to go to the national level.
National. So kind of explain to people what National Civics Bee is. So people, I think, are very familiar with spelling bees. That happens all the time. I was part of a spelling bee at one time. I know there's also geography bees. Those are things. Yeah. But what is a national civic? What is the civics bee? What does that mean?
So civics is the study of our government and citizens' responsibilities and duties in our government and in our country. So the civics bee is similar to a spelling bee, but it's just about civics. So a lot of people have asked me, like, what's your winning word? Or like, how did you do in the spelling bee? But it's similar to a spelling bee, but it's not, because it's really about our government and the rights and responsibilities of citizens.
So you're in 8th grade. I know they have history classes. They don't necessarily talk about government. Most students don't learn really about civics and government to a full extent until they're in high school, because they learn as part of like a democracy or whatever form of government. So how did you get interested in this? How in the world does somebody like, oh, I just want to be part of the civics bee? So how did that happen?
Well, my essay topic was advocating for the Ensuring Lasting Smiles Act, which is a legislative bill that we want to have it be passed in Congress. And by advocating for this bill, I've been advocating for it since I was in kindergarten. But I was participating in civics. I was actively performing civic duties and responsibilities without even knowing it. So when my mom encouraged me to join this bee, to write an essay as my application, I was thinking about it, and after writing my essay, I realized that this advocacy journey that I've been on has been completely about civics the entire time. I just never knew it. And we do start learning about civics in 8th grade, but it isn't to a full extent, and some schools in the Anchorage school district and across the country never even teach civics at all. So I just think that civics is a really important part of everyone's lives, since even just by being citizens, by doing things in our country, we're participating in civics. So it's very important.
I love it. You're speaking to the choir. Civics is super important. It's something we do as part of everyday life, like you said. A lot of people think of it as just voting, or like you have to run for office or things like that, but it's about advocating what you believe in and trying to help out your community, whether that's locally, right, in the state or national, which is pretty awesome. So tell me a little bit, how did you prepare for this? So obviously you found out you were already an advocate, you were learning a little bit about it. How does one study for that? Do you pull up a whole bunch of encyclopedias, or which is probably, you're too young to even know what that means. Is there a website you look at? Is there a certain curriculum? Do you look through history books? Like how do you learn about that?
So for the state civics bee, they gave us a study guide, and my mom and dad have been super instrumental in helping me learn about this, because first off, they were the ones who encouraged me to try out for the civics bee in the first place, and once I got in, they really helped me study for it and learn all of the materials. So I had a study guide from the Civics bee, and my mom cut out like the little definitions and the words, and she made flashcards for me, and I think those were really helpful in helping me learn. And I also made like a big timeline of a bunch of events that happened in the history of the United States, and I studied that, and I also studied like the length of the terms of all the presidents, and I looked at it in correlation to my timeline. So I think there wasn't really a curriculum or a specific like program that I studied with. I kind of came up with it on my own and with my parents, but it ended up working in the end, and I think it was a really beneficial way to study.
I love it. Shout out to mom and dad of Emily, Mr. and Mrs. Brubaker. That's super awesome. I love it. It makes me think there's this movie called Achille and the Bee, if you ever watched that. Oh, it's a spelling bee one, but it tell the story of how they were, like the whole community started training her to make it to the the national spelling bee. Is that something that did you get help from other people as well? Were there teachers involved, like some of your classmates, some of your friends?
Yeah, so I think mostly it was my parents, and then also my classmates really helped me. Like my friend Annabelle Slinker, she's in my Girl Scout troop, and she also goes here at Romig. She's in 8th grade, and she helped me study a lot before the state bee, and then also a little bit before the nationals too. And then my friend Althea Parrish, she also goes here, and she also helped me study. So my classmates did help me a lot too.
That's awesome. So Amy and
Annabelle and Althea.
Althea and Annabelle, shout out to you. That's awesome. So tell me about this. It's in DC, right?
Yeah.
So you go there, that's a big deal. You go into the nation's capital. What a perfect place to have a civics bee, right?
Yeah.
Because that's where like government is, the White House is, Congress is there. You have your U.S. senators, you have your congressmen and women. You have, government. That's where government was, right? Yeah. And so tell me, how did it feel, when you saw some of the people? I was looking at some of the footage of your fellow people that you were going against, and they look kind of old, but you said they're all like 8th grader, like 6th to 8th grade, right? Yeah.
I think in comparison to me, they all look old.
Oh yeah, nothing wrong with that. I'm a little guy too. Yeah.
Yeah. But
tell me, how did you feel? Like, was it interesting? Did they say stuff to you? Were they more amazed that you're from Alaska, or was it just like serious, like I'm here to win and dominate?
So the competition was actually 2 days long, and it was 4 rounds. But the first day, we went on kind of a field trip to the World War II Memorial, and we had the first round, which was a group project. So the first day, we all ate breakfast together in like one of the conference rooms at the Chamber of Commerce Foundation headquarters, and I sat with some kids, some of my competitors, and we were talking and introducing ourselves. And yeah, I think people were pretty they thought it was pretty cool that I was from Alaska, and we actually had a lot of things to say to each other. And we went to the World War II Memorial, and we actually got to meet some veterans who were on an honor flight from Arizona, and that was really cool. We got to talk to them and listen to their stories. It was really interesting. And then we came back to the Chamber of Commerce Foundation headquarters, and we did round 1 of the Civics bee, which was a group project. So how that worked was I was with Michael from Iowa and Joel from Wyoming, and we did a group project about solving homelessness in our communities.
Oh, wow.
And so we had 30 minutes to prepare, 15 minutes to come up with a presentation, and then 5 minutes to present it in front of everyone else.
Wow. Did you take into account things that happened here in the state, here in Anchorage as well?
Yeah.
That's awesome. So I'm amazed too how you remember everybody's name. Like especially for someone there. So round 2, and then was there a final round after that?
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about that.
Okay. So on the first day we had round 1, as I said, the group project, and then the next day we all ate breakfast together again, and we had the next 3 rounds. So the second round was all of the questions, like the questions about civics, and then the top 10 of us moved on to the third round, which was our speeches. Hello everyone, my name is Emily Brubaker and I am representing the state of Alaska. And then the top 5 moved on to the 4th round, which was the buzzer round. Like, have you ever seen Jeopardy?
Yeah, I love Jeopardy.
Yeah, it was basically like that, where you had to buzz in and say the answer.
Oh wow! So in Jeopardy though, you always have to use what is or where.
We didn't have to do that, but yeah, I kind of wanted to. I was going to be like, "What is the Fifth Amendment?" But so I didn't.
You're a fellow Jeopardy fan like me. Yeah. I'm a Jeopardy nerd. I love all of it. That's super cool. So when it came down, so it was basically like final question, had to answer, and then they named you the winner. How did it feel?
Well, they actually built up so much anticipation before they announced it. Like, we had the top 5 do the 4th round, the buzzer round, and then we all went back to our seats for like probably 20 minutes, and I was just like sitting with my parents and my grandma, and I was super nervous because I had tied with Michael from Iowa in the last round. We both had 7 points. So I was completely unsure of what was going to happen.
Yeah.
They're walking on the roof.
Oh no, it's all good. We were told we're in a middle school, so if you hear any noise, this is just middle school normal activity.
Walking on the roof is a little bit strange. But anyways, I went and I sat with my parents in the audience for about 20 minutes, and then the announcer, Mark Summers, he came out and he announced 3rd place, and then 2nd place, and then they brought out the CEO of the Daniels Fund to announce the 1st place, and she gave a speech, and the whole time I was like super nervous. My palms were sweaty. I was like, if I don't make this, like, I'm gonna be sad, but at least it was a good experience. Yeah. And then the CEO of the Daniels Fund, she called my name.
The grand prize winner of the Daniels Fund National Civics Bee Award is Emily.
I was like, oh my gosh. And the cameras were like trained on me as I walked up, and my parents and grandma walked up too, and I got to hold like the big check, although I didn't get to keep it, they took it away. But it was nice to hold it, and then I was just up there, and then they shot streamers out of cannons like across the stage, and I did not expect that. So that was a really surprising experience.
We'll show you. We apologize for those listening on Spotify, but for those on the video YouTube, you'll see the picture. It is pretty cool. I saw the streamers kind of coming up. It's super awesome. Like, it's just cool. So you get 100,000, but that's like that goes for scholarships and stuff.
Yeah. So it's a $100,000 529 plan scholarship for basically any college that I want.
I love it. So wherever you want to go.
Yeah.
So do you remember any of the questions they asked you?
I do remember one that I got wrong, and I got 17 out of 20 in the 2nd round, in the question round. And the question I got wrong was, well, they were all multiple choice. Yeah. So the question was, what was one of the reasons that Thomas Paine gave in his book Common Sense as to why the American colonies wanted to break off from Britain or England? And I remember that one of the options was because the British military presence was disrupting like the peace in the American colonies. Another one was because he thought that the king was stupid and they should just not be associated with him. And then there was, let's see, I don't remember the other 2. There were always 4, but those were 2 of them.
Was there taxation with no representation?
Yeah, that was one of the reasons why, but it wasn't there because it was what was one of the reasons.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Just one, yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I don't remember it.
Oh,
it
no,
was just like, it was all a blur, and it was kind of crazy. But which do you think?
One of the reasons it definitely wasn't because the king was stupid, even though they probably did think he was stupid. That sounds like a fake answer that you would eliminate, correct? Is that right? Or that was the right answer?
That was the right answer.
Oh, that was the right answer. So,
I got that wrong
yeah.
too. I used the same thought process.
Because I would think people would be a little bit more kind, especially back then. They talked in a different type of English,
Yeah.
so I wouldn't think they would say, the king is stupid. Like,
Yeah.
that's just not how people talk.
I've never
yeah.
read Common Sense,
Yeah.
but I didn't know it was so opinionated.
Yeah.
But I think I do remember some from the buzzer round, which weren't multiple choice, and you just had to like buzz in. Oh, a funny thing was like sometimes when we knew the answer, us top 5 contestants, we would like the buzzers would light up once Mark Summers was done reading the question, and if we really wanted to get it first, we would like spam the button. And you could see Keith from New Mexico on stage, and he was like, it was really funny. But anyways, some questions from the Jeopardy round were, let's see, like, there was a quote from the Magna Carta about, I don't remember what it was about, but it was like...
Magna Carta was some like 1,000,
Yeah.
10, like...
I think 1526.
Yeah, so, yeah.
Yeah, and so it was like, what is the principle called that was used in the Magna Carta that was also restated in the 14th and the 5th Amendments?
Yeah, I remember the First Amendment, because that's the freedom of speech or freedom of the press, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what is remind me. See, this is how bad it is. I don't remember.
So
what's the Fifth Amendment?
So the Fifth Amendment, it's kind of flown out of my brain. It takes me a minute to like process it. I used to be able to just be like,
Super fast, yeah.
Yeah, but the Fifth Amendment prohibits self-incrimination, double jeopardy, and it guarantees due process of law. And then the 14th Amendment, it says that all citizens born in the U.S. are guaranteed natural rights and due process of law.
Yeah,
so
that's good.
What's like in common between those?
Yeah, so what's in common? It sounds like that's all about this due process.
Yeah. So that was the answer.
Yeah.
So I actually didn't listen to the quote. I just kind of was like, what's in common between the 14th and the 5th Amendments? And then due process of law. But that question was the last question of the buzzer round, and it was very complicated because if you watched the video on YouTube, the contestant from, I believe, Arizona, Aiden, he buzzed in, and I also buzzed in. But Mark Summers called on him, but the buzzer lit up for me, and it was very complicated because on the screen it said that Aiden had gotten it, but his buzzer had not indicated that, and apparently it allowed him to buzz in too early, so I should have gotten the points. But I didn't mean to like take it away from Aiden, because when I was up there, I had no idea if those 3 points were the difference between me winning and losing. So I kind of spoke up. I was like, I think I should get those points. And there was kind of a pause, and then no one got the points.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So you're advocating even on the stage. Yeah.
I guess so.
Yeah, that's super awesome. That's super cool. We'll probably, I know there's a speech too. And, so just give us like a short synopsis, like what did you say for your speech? Like you don't have to say the speech.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
So what was the topic of your speech?
So my topic of my essay and my speech was advocating for the Ensuring Lasting Smiles Act, which is a legislative bill that would amend federal law and mandate that medical insurance companies won't deny coverage for the surgeries or medical procedures for people with congenital anomalies. So a congenital anomaly is a condition that someone has had since birth. And I actually have a congenital anomaly called hypohidrotic ectodermal dysplasia, which means that I can't sweat, I have kind of thin hair, and I have a lot of missing adult and baby teeth. And since I'm missing like all those teeth, and I have some that are like misshapen or in the wrong spot, I'm facing like really extensive dental work ahead, potentially like coming up in a couple years. And currently, these procedures that I'm going to have to get, which could cost my family like $100,000 at least, are not covered by medical insurance because of a loophole in federal law that says that these insurance companies can deem these procedures that I need to get as cosmetic, so they're not necessary. So this is the case for not just me, but a lot of kids and adults around America. And the bill, the Ensuring Lasting Smiles Act, would make sure that this loophole is closed and insurance companies can't deny coverage.
Love it. You're an advocator. I know you said you wanted to be a NASA scientist. You should consider being, I don't want to say politician, but a leader.
Yeah,
Have you seen yourself, like, you could do both, actually. You could do anything. Have you thought about that?
Well, I actually don't really know what I want to be yet. I'm only 14, but I'm always open to anything because currently I would really like to be a NASA scientist or programmer or engineer, but I'm really just saying that that would be my dream job. It's not something that I absolutely would do anything to become, because even though that would be a really great experience and really fun for me, I also think that I'm not closed to any other options. So being a, for lack of a better word, politician, that's not like an eliminated possibility yet for me.
Oh, you have my vote. That's awesome. Yeah, I love your speech. I love your topic. I love your advocacy. Love that you won the thing and you represent it, not just your family, but you represent Romig, you represent the Anchorage School District, you represent Anchorage, and you represent Alaska. So that's super cool. And, obviously when you go on to, like, you're going to go to West, that's going to be awesome. So thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you for the conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah, awesome. Can't wait to see what you do. You're going to do awesome.
Thank you. Oh, I have one more thing. So I was actually talking to some of the people who run the National Civics Bee, and they were saying that applications are open right now. There's about 80 days to apply, and any kids 6th through 8th grade can apply. And I know this sounds like an ad, but I really think that civics is an important part of anyone's lives, and it's just it was really just a great experience for me, and I would recommend it for anyone who wants to. Also, this year there were 27 states. Next year there will be 40, and by 2026 they're hoping to get all 50 states.
I love that. I love it that you can cut in any time. You're an advocate through and through. I love it. So you guys heard it. Sign up. All of you middle schoolers, those that are in 6th to 8th grade, doesn't matter what program, you should definitely do civics. And I 100% agree. Civics is important for our country, for our state, for our city, for you right here in our district. So thank you again, Emily, our advocate, a superstar. That's it for ASD Shine Bright, the podcast. Make sure you listen to us on Spotify. We're also on Amazon Music and iHeart Music and Apple Music, and we're also on YouTube and all the social media. Until next time.